Sayani, the voice of India on radio. All that and more in a moment, but first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9. Big showdown between farmers and police at Delhi borders. Farmers pause their Delhi Chalo march for 2 days. Government urges for fresh talks with Kisan. This even as the death of a farmer has sparked off a fierce fight between Haryana and Punjab governments. Samajwadi Party and the Congress ink a seat-sharing pact in Uttar Pradesh for the general elections. Congress to contest on 17 seats. Samajwadi Party will fight on 63 seats in UP. A seats-sharing deadlock between Aam Aadmi Party and Congress in Delhi. AAP convener Arvind Kejriwal admits to an alliance delay. Sources say Congress pushing for 4 seats in Delhi has delayed the talks. An announcement likely by the weekend. The Trinamool versus BJP row in Sandesh Kali escalates. BJP asks Mamata Banerjee to furnish proof of Khalistani abuse hurled at police. Mamata claims BJP conspiracy to tarnish Bengal's image. Congress levels another big charge, claims another 65 crore rupees taken by the Income Tax Department. Treasurer Ajay Makan says banks have been mandated to transfer the amount to the government. Delhi liquor gate heat now on former Telangana Chief Minister KCR's daughter once again. CBI issues fresh summons to K. Kavita on February 26th. Language war resurfaces in Karnataka. Siddharamaiah government minister says multinational companies will be asked to display boards of Kannada employees. BJP welcomes the move. And ISRO achieves another milestone, successfully tests its cryogenic engine for the unmanned Gaganyaan mission, which will be the first to take Indian astronauts to space. Eminent jurist Fali Nariman is no more. The senior Supreme Court advocate passes away at the age of 95. Condolences pour in for India's sentinel of the judiciary. But the latest breaking story that we are getting is that the battle now between the centre and Punjab farmers has taken a new twist, because the Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann has not only backed the farmers, he has said that action will be taken against officials of the Haryana government who are being blamed for the death of a Kisan. That's right, a Punjab farmer died in the agitation today, and the blame is now being heaped on the Haryana government and the Haryana police in particular, which is alleged to have resorted to tear gas shells during those protests. The Chief Minister of Punjab has said, why is Haryana blocking the farmers? Why are the farmers not being given space in Delhi to protest? While the farmers have paused their Delhi march now for 2 days, clearly a new twist added with the Haryana government or the Haryana police being blamed now for the death of a Punjab farmer. Listen in first to Bhagwant Mann.
पर्चा भी होगा पोस्टमार्टम तो बाद पर्चा करके ਜਾਂਚ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਧਿਕਾਰੀ ਜਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਦਾਰ ਨੇ ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਮੌਤ ਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਖਤ ਤੋਂ ਸਖਤ ਕਾਰਵਾਈ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਸਾਹਮਣਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਊਗਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ 2 ਕਿੱਲਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਮਾਲਕ ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਰਨ ਕੋਈ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਖਿਚਾਉਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ, ਕੋਈ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ 2 ਕਿੱਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾਉਣ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ ਜਾਂ 2 ਕਿੱਲਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਦਾ ਮੁੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫਸਲ ਹੈ ਉਹਦਾ ਮੁੱਲ ਮੰਗਣ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ। ਇਸ ਮਾਮਲੇ 'ਚ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਖੜੀ ਹੈ।
I want to go straight across to my correspondent in Chandigarh. Our correspondent in Chandigarh there is Kamaljeet Sandhu, tracking every move. Kamaljeet, it seems now open war between these two states. The Chief Minister of Punjab saying he will act against Haryana government officials whom he is blaming for the death of a farmer. Can you give us more details about exactly what is the explanation for the death of this farmer?
You know, the farmers were gathered at Shambu border and in Kanori, and this is where there was a lot of protests happening there in Kanori border, where it seems that there were some gunshots fired, and we've been told that some rubber bullets were used. So let me tell you that once this entire thing happened, at least 13 farmers were injured. Some of them were rushed towards Patiala. Shubkaran was brought dead to the hospital, all of 21 years of age, from Maud in Bhatinda. And obviously, there has been a lot of controversy regarding this. All the opposition leaders, including Pratap Singh Bajo, who is saying that Anil Vij should be booked, especially because the Home Ministry is responsible, and that is the Haryana's Home Ministry, and saying they've crossed the line, entered the territory of Punjab and shot at the farmers. Today in the evening, however, we heard Bhagwant Mann speak, and obviously he did not miss any words. He said we would not been stopping the farmers. They wanted to go ahead to Delhi, but this is where there has been an excess use of force. What he said is, after the post-mortem is done, and remember, that is when it will be known as to what was the main cause of his death, that is when there would be action taken. And obviously, there has been a question mark even coming as far as Punjab police is concerned, because many said they did little to stop or resist the farmers from going ahead with their march towards Delhi. Meanwhile, it seems there has been a certain escalation. As soon as the news of the death spread, the senior farmer leaders marched towards the Shambu border, and that is where more tear gassing was done. So for now, at this point of time, for 2 days, the SKM seems to have called this off. Tomorrow, there's a big meeting in Chandigarh where they will decide the next future course of action. But clearly, tensions rising as there's one casualty now. And obviously, Punjab Chief Minister saying they will look into all the circumstances and act on the officials who are behind this killing.
Right. Just to tell our viewers, remember, you have a Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab, you have a BJP government in Haryana, and that adds another dimension to this conflict. Kamaljeet Sandhu, appreciate you joining us. Just to also put in context, the farmers, many of them Sikh led unions, farmer unions, were today back on the street with 1,200 tractors on the Shambu border, which is on the Punjab-Haryana border, planning to move towards Delhi. And while they may have put a pause to their Delhi Chalo Andolan for now, the scenes that took place this morning will clearly haunt them. The police, Haryana police, firing tear gas shells at them to impede their advance beyond the Haryana border. Clearly, this is a situation that is now tense and could escalate once again. What exactly transpired, and why are the farm unions determined with their 1,200 tractors to take to the streets and come towards Delhi? It's our top story.
After 2 days of pause, on Wednesday, the Delhi Chalo march resumed.
Preparations are under its way to save themselves from tear gas. They are keeping these jute bags wet. Whenever a tear gas shell will be actually fired, these bags will be used by the farmers to move forward. Also, these sandbags you can see that were filled by the farmers yesterday have now been kept on the ground. Clearly, the arrangements have been made by the farmers, but this time the Haryana police is also not keeping any stone unturned to stop them from moving ahead.
Farmers were seen ready with armored gear and gas masks and even steel shields to combat any tear gas firing.
JCB machines have been put. They say that as far as the machinery has been put here, the pokelanes, and these are the ones which is going to move forward. That means tension ahead of this entire movement. We've heard about Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, and it seems that the Jawan is versus the Kisan. It's going to be a big showdown here.
हरियाणा पुलिस के जो जवान हैं वो मौजूद है वहां पर बड़ी संख्या में। अनिल जायसवाल आगे की तरफ और ये देखिए कि किस तरीके से हरियाणा पुलिस की तैयारी है और जिस तरह से किसानों ने पोकलाइन मशीन मंगाई है। सामने की तरफ देखिए हरियाणा पुलिस ने भी वो पोकलाइन मशीन मंगवाई हुई है वहां पर। तो सीधे सीधे जिस तरह की तैयारी किसानों की है उसी तरह की हरियाणा पुलिस की है।
Tear gas shells were sporadically fired to impede their advance. In a bid to ease tensions, the government extended an offer of a fifth round of talks, emphasizing the need for peaceful resolution.
हम यही अपील करेंगे कि 5वीं दौर के बैठक के लिए हम सबको आगे बढ़ना चाहिए और ऐसे मुद्दे पर संवेदनशील होकर के हम अपना पक्ष रखें, क्योंकि सरकार भी यह चाहती है कि इसका समाधान हो। तत्कालिक दृष्टि से भी, दीर्घकालिक दृष्टि से भी हमें समस्या का समाधान के दिशा में वार्ता के माध्यम से आगे बढ़ना है।
और हमने जो प्रधानमंत्री जी को अपील की थी, जो कोशिश की थी इस मोर्चे में शांति रहे और हमारे किसान मजदूर की जो सरकार है खून की प्यासी ना हो, हम आज भी आग्रह करेंगे प्रधानमंत्री महोदय से आगे आइए और इस मोर्चे का शांतिपूर्ण जो हल है वो करने के लिए आप एमएसपी गारंटी का कानून बनाने की अनाउंसमेंट कीजिए। तो इसके लिए इसके बाद इस मोर्चे को पीसफुली रखा जा सकता है, लोगों की जो भावनाएं उसको कंट्रोल किया जा सकता है।
Previous discussions between the government and the protesters ended in an impasse, with farmers standing firm on their demand for minimum support price assurance on all crops. With Arvind Ojha, Shreya Chatterjee and Kamaljeet Sandhu at Shambhu border. Bureau Report, India Today.
So let's raise the big questions tonight. Is there now a total breakdown in trust at the end between the Modi government and the farmers of Punjab? Why are the farmer protests being limited to Punjab? Is Punjab the one state where the Modi factor is just not working? Are Sikh groups in particular angry with the centre? Not just farmer groups, but Sikhs in general. Those are some of the questions I will raise. I'm joined by Shashi Kant, former DGP Punjab. VM Singh is President MSP Guarantee Kisan Morcha. Birpal Singh is a farmer leader who has a different view. And I'm joined by Harmeet Shah Singh, our senior editor. Appreciate you joining us, all of you joining us. I want to come to you, VM Singh, first, because you are someone at the heart of this demand which the farmers are making for an MSP legal guarantee. Now, many are questioning the timing of it. You're doing it just weeks before the Lok Sabha polls begin. Is this because you believe the government is vulnerable at this moment? And there are those who are saying that there is therefore a political agenda here to create a sense that the government is encircled the Modi government before the elections. Explain your response to that.
Rajdeep, firstly, I'd like to tell you how it came about. MSP is not something that started today. In the year 2000, 23 years ago, we had an agitation bigger than what we're having today. In Uttar Pradesh, one chief minister had to go and Rajnath Singh came in. That's where we started. That is why in 2004, there was this National Commission for Farmers with Swaminathan as the chairman, which came in for the same reason. And in 2007, when the report came in, 3-4 volumes came in, 4 volumes plus came in, then Mr. Modi, as the chairperson of the working group comprising of 4 chief ministers of the Consumer Affairs Committee, and the 4 chief ministers were Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Gujarat. They all filed their report, and after the report, Mr. Modi sent a letter to the then Prime Minister saying MSP guarantee must be given. Once it was not given, then Mr. Modi in his manifesto in 2013 mentioned there that we will give C2 plus 50%. And 2 years later in the court, they said we can't give it. Therefore, we had a congregation, we had, the Morcha has about almost 250 Sangatans today, which are together. We called everyone there. And in the Parliament Street, all the political parties, which are in the opposition today, they came about and said, yes, we will give the MSP guarantee. And nobody wrote in the manifesto. Again, we started again. It's not the timing at this point in time. In 2021, again, we said the same. 22, we had 3,000 delegates from all over the country. They came to Delhi. You don't even know about it because peacefully we sat for 3 days and we talked about it. We called the minister concerned, Tomar. He never came. But they only come if you hit the roads. That's the problem. In 23 again, the whole thing.
No, but why
again.
now? No,
So
Mr.
today
VMC, you've given, sir. I take your point that this has been an issue which has been bubbling for years. But now that the farmers have hit the streets once again, and particularly farmers from Punjab, many of them leaders from the Sikh community. How should I see the timing of what you've done? That you've chosen this month of February, weeks ahead of the general election?
when the elections are there, that is for the public to come and say, okay, fine, iron is hot, strike now, give it to us what you had said we are capable of getting, or you had promised to us, either which way. Now the point here is, it's not the Sikh people of Punjab alone. They started the thing, whether there are 10 organizations or 20 organizations. If they have come forward and the demand of minimum support price is a universal demand of the entire country, I hold the
No, but it's the Sikh farm, Mr. Singh, it may be a universal demand, but for some reason, Punjab farmers, many of whom, of course, are wheat and rice, and therefore, in this particular part of the country, the MSP issue may be seen as far more urgent. I ask you again, why are you doing it now? What is it about this moment?
Why not? Today, the manifestos have to be made. Everything has to be done. What you had said in the 2014 manifesto, walk the talk now. Just to remind them that, okay, you had, and what they are saying as such is different, that they got up in 21-22, after I walked out after 26th of January, they said we still continued and the government promised to us and committed that they'll give it to us. They haven't given it. We are just reminding the government, please give it. Walk the talk, nothing else. What's the problem in that, Rajdeep? I don't understand that.
Okay, you're saying this is the time to walk the talk. बीरबल सिंह, आप किस तरह से देखते हैं? क्या आप मानते हैं कि एक तरह से केंद्र सरकार ने जो आश्वासन दिए थे किसानों को 2020 के आंदोलन के बाद, अब किसान कह रहे हैं देखिए हम 2 साल रुके हुए हैं, अब जैसे वीएम सिंह कह रहे हैं ये सही समय है, चुनाव आ रहा है, आश्वासन दिए थे, क्या हुआ उन आश्वासनों का?
देखिए, मैं आप तो पहले तो आपके चैनल के दर्शकों को सभी को बहुत ही दुख के साथ बताना चाहूंगा, जैसे कि आपने बताया है एक किसान भाई की डेथ होगी, ये मुझे सुनकर बहुत दुख लगा है और मैं तो भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूं कि पहले उसकी आत्मा को शांति मिले और स्वर्ग में उसको स्थान मिले। ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए था। अब मैं आपके पॉइंट पे कहूंगा, देखिए ये आंदोलन जैसा कि मेरे भाई वीएम सिंह जी बोल रहे हैं कि लगभग 23 साल पुराना है। 23 साल पुराने का मतलब किसान भाई पहले से ही डिमांड करते आ रहे हैं कि हमको एमएसपी मिले। ठीक है, कोई चिंता की बात नहीं थी, लेकिन अब इनके कहने पे उस समय जो सरकार थी, यूपीए की सरकार, उन्होंने एक स्वामीनाथन आयोग का कमीशन बैठाया। उन्होंने अपनी 2006 में रिपोर्ट दे दी और वो रिपोर्ट ठंडे बस्ते में रख दी गई। वो लगभग 10 साल तक 8-9 साल तक ठंडे बस्ते में रखी गई। और जब भाइयों ने डिमांड करी उनसे कांग्रेस की सरकार से कि हमारी एमएसपी दीजिए, अब तो डॉक्टर स्वामीनाथन की रिपोर्ट बहुत पहले से आ चुकी है, तो उन्होंने क्या कहा, ये रिपोर्ट आपकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट है हम पूरी नहीं कर सकते, एमएसपी नहीं दे सकते, यदि हम ऐसा करेंगे तो इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ जाएगा। ठीक है, बहुत दुख की बात है। लेकिन अगली सरकार ने जैसे इनको कहा तो ठीक है, उन्होंने कहा है, उनको कहा होगा, जैसे कि भाई वीएम सिंह जी कह रहे, मैं नहीं कह रहा, बिल्कुल झूठ बोल रहे, उन्होंने ठीक है जो भी आश्वासन दिया था, कितने % दिया है, कितने % नहीं दिया, उन्होंने 2019 के नहीं पहले देती थी, लेकर जहां 2019 में उन्होंने केंद्र सरकार ने किसानों को एक एमएसपी दी थी। देखो मैं आपको फिर बताऊंगा झगड़े की जड़ कहां से शुरू हुई है। और यदि ये सरकारें, आम आदमी की सरकार चाहती तो दिल्ली में और पंजाब में किसानों को एमएसपी दे सकती थी, क्योंकि जब दिल्ली केंद्र सरकार ने पूरे देश को एमएसपी दी तो केजरीवाल सरकार ने दिल्ली में कहा लागत मूल्य का 1.5 गुना देगी एमएसपी दिल्ली सरकार, और ये हम आपकी एमएसपी को नहीं मानते। तो आगे मैं बताता हूं,
आप कह रहे हैं सभी नहीं, अब मेरी बात सर, 1 मिनट, आपने कहा कि जितनी सरकारें हैं, आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार दिल्ली और पंजाब में है, कांग्रेस की सरकार पंजाब में थी, केंद्र में थी, और अब बीजेपी की सरकार है, सभी सरकारों ने एक तरह से किसानों के साथ धोखा किया है, उन्होंने एमएसपी प्रॉमिस की है लेकिन एमएसपी दी नहीं है। पॉइंट टेकन। आई फॉर अ मोमेंट, एक मिनट सर, इसके साथ
प्लीज नहीं, एक मिनट, अच्छा ठीक है
जी, मैं जरा शशिकांत जी के पास जाऊं। शशिकांत जी, यू आर अ फॉर्मर डीजी ऑफ पुलिस, लुक एट व्हाट इज हैपनिंग टुडे ऑन द ग्राउंड। आई जस्ट वांट टू स्विच टू व्हाट वी आर सीइंग हैपनिंग ऑन द ग्राउंड। हरियाणा एंड पंजाब पुलिस, Haryana police refusing to allow the farmers to enter through their state into Delhi. Tear gas firing, we don't know the cause of the death as yet of a farmer, but one farmer has died. Now we've got Bhagwan Mann saying, I will act against the Haryana government. Do you fear that this is spiraling into an interstate conflict? One BJP ruled, one Aam Aadmi Party ruled, and that's dangerous.
Well, I'll say the situation indeed is serious. I can't care if it's turning out to be a problematic issue between Punjab and Haryana. I'm more bothered about Punjab Kisans, Punjabis, farmers who are there. I'll just state a fact to you. This is not a new demand. In fact, consistently, the agricultural growth in Punjab has been diminishing. In 2005, it went down by 3%. Then later on, 2005 to 2013, 17, it went down by 1.6%. And that was the time when agitation started for the MSP. MS Swaminathan report came and people thought that, yeah, something is going to come out. But unfortunately, nothing has come out. There are different formulas, whether it is C2 plus 50 or A2 plus FL into 50, etc., whatever it is. But the issue is that, unfortunately, it's now becoming a political issue. It was basically an agrarian issue plus economic issue. I'll take you to a few years back. In 2020, 257 Punjabi farmers, they committed suicide. 2022 itself, 14. Farmers are under immense debt. They are not getting any money. Youth are going abroad. We are using this migratory labor from various states, which is again escalating the cost of the production. So this is a serious situation. I think instead of politicizing the situation, this is about the time when the governments and economists, particularly agriculture,
but it has got political.
Do about it.
No, you're saying don't politicize it, sir. When two police forces, Punjab police and Haryana police, are virtually face to face on the border, it is getting political.
That's why I said it's becoming political. That's why I'm saying don't politicize it. I can't care less about Punjab and Haryana. I'm worried about our Punjabi, our farmers who are there, who are facing this tear gas shells and who are being sort of, they are being stopped there, which is again, confinement is again an IPC offense. Lots of illegal things are happening. Punjab and Haryana, let them fight on the table or whatever they want to. But our farmers, our Punjabi farmers, who have been andata, they were andata, and now what's their plight? Look at their plight, what they are reduced to now. Thank you.
You know, you're saying that look at the plight of the Punjab farmers, but Harmeet Singh, there's another unfortunate narrative also, or unfortunate meaning ominous narrative, which is playing out, that these are Sikh farmers who are hitting the streets. Why are farmers in other parts of the country not hitting the streets? Sikh farmers are hitting, and you know what happened in 2020-21 when some of them were dubbed Khalistanis. That gave it another dimension. How worrying is this, Harmeet, that this entire issue now is getting tied into the notion of Sikh identity? First of all, according to you, are these all Sikh farmers? Should we see them as Sikhs or farmers of Punjab?
The fact that, the agrarian crisis, which is a chronic issue, and we are discussing it as a matter of Punjab farmers and particularly Sikh farmers, that fact is a problem. And here's something which I would like to point out, that agrarian crisis is happening for the last 30 years or so. But nobody is really bothered about it. And it's not limited to Punjab. It's a countrywide issue. Now, in Punjab, we have two main crops, wheat and paddy. But the credit goes to Punjab farmers who are fighting for all 23 crops on which MSP is there, but there is no guarantee that you will get an MSP. So they are in fact fighting for the farmers of the entire country. But unfortunately, a narrative has been built that, these turban-wearing Sikhs, these Sikhs with a flowing beard, this is a narrative, and there is an ecosystem, and it's a very well-oiled ecosystem. I'm not talking about the top BJP leadership, but an ecosystem is there, which is in place, which creates this impression all over the country that these people are Khalistanis, these people are separatists, worse, these people are terrorists. I mean, there is no distinction between a Khalistani separatist or terrorist. So everything is done, and sort of a noise is created in which, the Sikh community feels insulted deeply insulted. And this is the perception that this has never happened before. Yesterday, Rajdeep, we heard someone saying in West Bengal, equating the notional Khalistan with Pakistan. And I can recall here that, when I was a child in the early 1980s, we used to hear these slogans whenever there was a protest in Punjab over natural resources. कंगा कड़ा कच्चा कृपान इनको भेजो पाकिस्तान नीली पीली रहन नहीं देनी ससरी काल कहन नहीं देनी. What's the difference? What has changed in the past 40 years? The mentality remains the same. That was Congress rule. Now there is no Congress rule here, but the mentality remains the same, and that's what probably has alienated Sikhs from the ruling elite.
I'm looking at those pictures yesterday of a West Bengal policeman who alleges that he was called a Khalistani by a BJP leader simply because he wore a turban. That's the danger of what is playing out at the moment. And that is why this is becoming so dangerous. If farmers protesting, because many believe that the average size of holding has declined to 2 to 3 acres, farmers take the production risk, don't have the strength for marketing risk, hit the streets, and they are dubbed Khalistanis. VM Singh, I want to know from you, how would you describe the farmer unions protesting? Are they to be seen as Sikh farmers? Are they to be seen as Punjab farmers, Hindus and Sikhs? Are they seen to be representing farmers of the country? Do they really represent the farmers of the country or their own interests in Punjab?
The farmers of the country, as you said very correctly, they have 2 acres, 3 acres. 86% have less than 5 acres of land. Okay? And those people can't come to Delhi. They can't come anywhere else. They're sitting there, they're waiting. Something should happen for them. There's migration all over the country. Therefore, MSP guarantee today, what they want is that man does not have paddy, he does not have wheat to sell, who's got 2 acres of land. What he does have as such is, he has vegetables, fruits and milk. Therefore, what they want is MSP for fruits and vegetables and milk also. And believe me, what I'm saying is nothing new. There's already provision by the government 20 years ago or 30 years ago for milk, for perishable goods and horticulture to have a marketing setup. There has to be a government intervention there. It's called Market Intervention Scheme. It's already there. It's not being put to use. Therefore, I say there are almost 5 groups in the country today. One group is agitating. Second group is sitting pretty. Third group I have is sitting pretty. Gurnaam Singh is the 4th one. Then they are the Sangh and the other groups also, the farming group. All of them have all the channels open up, and just 1 hour debate will clear the whole show. You don't have to have 6 hours.
No, so how do you respond? How do you respond, Mr. Singh? How do you respond when people call these farmers that these are, as Harmeet just said, that these farmers are anti-national, these farmers are anarchists, these farmers have links to Khalistan? What will you tell those people who use this language?
One answer: if they have anything to do with Khalistan or they have any anti-social elements are involved, don't eat whatever they grow. Simple as that. You want to eat everything also, and you want to make a narrative according to your own choice. These are 2 different things, which is not fair. These are the farmers of the country who have actually lifted the country today. All the while, we were importing PL 460 in 1965. Today we have surplus. We have 3 times the population, we have surplus. So these narrations are basically political. You talk about Punjab, Haryana, all these political theories are absolutely horrible. You pick up a farmer in Bihar, pick up a farmer in UP, pick up a farmer anywhere, they all want minimum support price. We are not concerned about the other demands that they're talking about. Minimum support price guarantee, the entire lot is with them.
Okay, but the fact is the minimum support price is a contentious issue. We've had discussions with the likes of Professor Gulati and others who've suggested that this would put a lot of pressure, according to them, on finances of the center. It can't be a guarantee. But Shashikant, you raised your... Birbal Singh, Shashikant ji, you raised your voice. What troubles you?
Yeah.
A fellow police officer, you saw what happened in Bengal yesterday as well. Is this worrying, this communal... when a farmer agitation gets a communal twist?
It's shocking, it's disgraceful. And let me tell you that in Punjab, most of the farmers, they are just Sikhs. There are Hindus, very few are there who own this land holdings. If particular group, which by chance is dominated by one particular community, if they come out and raise this issue, which is which is a demand of all the farmers all over the country, then how you can blame them? I fail to understand. You'll recall, sir, that
No, y'all
this
keep saying it's a
movement-
demand. Y'all keep saying it's a demand all over the country, but we am seeing then why are the farmers in other parts not hitting the street? What is so specific about Punjab farmers that they are hitting the street, Mr. VM Singh?
If this is the only way, then you'll find everyone coming to the streets. We don't want that. We don't want anarchy at all. I have written to the Prime Minister in November on behalf of 250 organizations. Please give us time. We want to talk to you about this thing, about the minimum support price. But we haven't got a reply. We haven't got a reply. So if this is the way the government wants,
Birbal,
then people, and these are letters written from Karnataka, from 29 states.
no, you have letters. No, I take it you have letters, but it is the family, it is the Punjab farmer who's hit the street. Birbal Singh, आप कुछ कहना चाहते थे?
जी हाँ, मैं कहना चाह रहा हूँ, देखो जैसे हमारे भाई बीएम सिंह जी बोल रहे हैं, वो ठीक है, पिछली सरकारों ने जो किया किया, लेकिन जब केंद्र में सरकार जो प्रेजेंट सरकार है वो आई, उसने इनको एमएसपी दी, लेकिन जैसे जिस हिसाब से नहीं मांग रहे हैं, उस हिसाब से इनको मालूम है क्या मांग रहे थे, क्या नहीं दिया, ये इनको मालूम है। लेकिन मैं इतना जरूर कहना चाहूंगा, आजादी के 70 सालों में भी किसान और कल्याण मंत्रालय का जो बजट 10 सालों में केंद्र सरकार ने दिया है, वो पहले की सरकार ने किसी ने दिया। 2014 में कृषि किसान कल्याण मंत्रालय का बजट 27,662.67 करोड़ रुपए था, जो 23-24 के बजट के अनुमान के अनुसार 5 गुना बढ़ाकर 1,25,35.79 करोड़ रुपए किया गया, यानी कि 5 गुना बढ़ा। उसके बाद देश में खाद्यान्न का जो उत्पादन हुआ, उसका हिसाब किताब यदि मैं आप बताऊं, 2014-15 में 761.70 मूल्य का।
तो आप कह रहे हैं कि इस मोदी सरकार ने बढ़ाया, एमएसपी बढ़ाया है, उन्होंने मैक्सिमम फंड्स भी दिए हैं, वो भी आपको देखना पड़ेगा। हरमीत,
मुझे 2 मिनट प्लीज 2 मिनट मेरी बात, 2 मिनट
सर,
प्लीज,
सर 1 मिनट आपने, सर एक नहीं, अभी मेरी बात, मुझे बिल्कुल टाइम नहीं है, मुझे किसी और, हरमीत, I want one final word. जो कहा अब बिरबल सिंह ने कि funds have been increased, but I want to know, is there a breakdown of trust? At the end of the day, विश्वास नहीं है. This is all about trust. There's a breakdown between the Punjabi, the Jat Sikh farmer, call him a Punjabi farmer, and the centre.
Not just the farmers.
Quick
I think
response.
there is, so far as the Sikh community is concerned, whether Jat Sikhs or non-Jat Sikhs like myself, this is the perception that I got from my conversations with different kinds of people within the community, that the Sikh community at large is not confident that the BJP is well informed about the Sikh psyche in general. And perhaps, you know, when you say, for example, I give you an example, there was a lot of advertisement about commemorating the martyrdom of Sahibzada, the younger sons of Guru Gobind Singh. Now that commemoration was called Bal Divas, as if, you know, in Sikh jargon, we don't call them Bal, we call them Babas. So, you know, it appears to an ordinary Sikh like me that this dispensation either ignores the Sikh ethos and the Sikh belief system, or is not very well informed, although at the higher level, there is a lot of, gestures, there are a lot of gestures and symbolism towards the Sikh community.
Okay, let me leave it there. Clearly, this problem, therefore, is one that needs to be handled very deftly, very sensitively in the border state of Punjab. When you have restiveness in the state, it's a warning signal. Hopefully that trust deficit will be bridged. Otherwise, the kinds of scenes that we've seen today could well get repeated. I appreciate all my guests joining me on my top talking point. Let me turn from there to the top political story of the day. And that's coming from Uttar Pradesh today, where the Samajwadi Party and the Congress have finally stitched an alliance. The India Alliance will now have these two parties fighting the BJP in the 2024 general elections. Akhilesh Yadav today announcing that 17 seats will be given to the Congress. The Samajwadi Party will fight 63 seats. It's the first seat-sharing pact to be officially announced within the India bloc since its inception. Let's go straight across to Moshbi Singh for a quick update on that. Moshbi, I believe Raebareli, Amethi will go to the Congress among others, a few seats of Western Uttar Pradesh, but the scenes we are seeing suggest that this is the first alliance. You're back in a way to 2017 when Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi had fought an election together.
That's right, Rajdeep, and they had failed miserably at that time, and many in the Congress felt that Rahul Gandhi's entire effort of the Kisan Yatra and Khat Pe Charcha actually was rendered useless by taking in the entire anti-incumbency of the Akhilesh government. We'll have to wait and see whether the alliance really works out well for the Congress party and the Samajwadi party this time. But as you mentioned, Raebareli, Amethi going to the Congress's kitty, they have got reasonably good seats like Amroha, Saharanpur, Jhansi. The probability of winning these seats is high. What they couldn't get is Shravasti, Lakhimpur Kheri, which they were bargaining for, and thought that the chances were good there. They have got Varanasi, though, which is an ideological battle seat against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And
let me ask you the big question, though. Moshbi Singh, very quickly. Now that the Congress has got Raebareli, Amethi, quick 10-second answer. Is Priyanka Gandhi Vadra going to fight Raebareli or not? Yes or no? What are your sources telling you?
Rajdeep, that's a tough question to ask because the Congress also doesn't know the answer. But Jairam Ramesh said that people in Raebareli want Priyanka Gandhi Vadra to fight. And this will be a big lose out for Priyanka Gandhi Vadra herself if she doesn't contest the Lok Sabha elections, having already delayed her entry into politics.
Okay, let me leave it there. Clearly, therefore, the Congress still not sure whether they are in a position to take on the BJP in Uttar Pradesh. They've got 17 seats, so it's make or break really for the Congress there in Uttar Pradesh. Let's take a break at this point. When we return, we are turning to two special tributes that we are going to play today. One to jurist Fali Nariman, the other to the one and only Amin Sayani. We'll tell you more on both of them in our special tributes. That's in a moment.
Pure Wash Electronic Seat by Kohler. Wish everything was this intelligent.
Get ready for an immersive journey into the heart of news, politics, and insights that matter. Join India Today now on WhatsApp. Scan the QR code.
Sveda by Kohler. Wish everything cared for your skin.
Get ready for an immersive journey into the heart of news, politics, and insights that matter. Join India Today now on WhatsApp. Scan the QR code.
Welcome back. Some sad news today. Fali Nariman, one of the greatest jurists of our time, often seen as a conscience keeper and a Bhishma Pitama of India's judiciary, passed away at the age of 95. Nariman was both a member of parliament as a nominated member by the president and had resigned the very next day after Prime Minister Indira Gandhi declared emergency. He resigned as additional Solicitor General of the country. last year in an interview to me during the government versus judiciary war over judges' appointments. He had expressed his fears about the judiciary's independence being compromised. I'll be joined in a moment by two special guests to pay tribute to Mr. Nariman. First, listen in to what he had told me then. You know, you mentioned very significantly, Mr. Nariman, the emergency.
Yeah.
Because that is where the system broke down.
Yes.
And that is where the judges, in a way, found themselves subservient to the executive.
And I'll tell you why. Because judges were transferred during the emergency, not for exigencies of service or for any convenience or because there were more judges needed in a particular court, but only because they gave judgments which were unfavorable to the government of the day. This is how it happened. And that's why the collegium system.
That's right. That's the point I was going to come to, that the second judge's case and the collegium came into place because people feared that the excesses of the emergency could not be allowed to be repeated again.
That's right.
Now when you see what's happening, do you fear that there is another attempt by the executive?
Yes, of course I do fear.
To go back to the kind of emergency domination of the judiciary?
I do fear. That is why I make the suggestion that, I mean, there's no hallmark on the collegium system that we must have this system and nothing else. I don't think anybody will say that. But the government says national commission, I say yes, have a national commission. Your own party had proposed it, had a bill, we introduced that bill, that's all.
Is part of the problem also the quality of judges and the fact that some of the judges themselves now have a question mark over them, over the kind of judgments that are delivered, the manner in which some judges make statements, sometimes praising politicians, judges becoming, or chief justices becoming Rajya Sabha
We used to call them,
within months of their retirement?
We used to call them bandwagon judges in the emergency. Bandwagon judges. Yeah, jump on the bandwagon.
So are we back to bandwagon judges?
That's unfortunate. You see, on both sides, you have to blame both sides. I don't blame one side at all. I blame both sides. I mean, this has been stirring up, and it's something it makes good political mileage, gives good political mileage. That's about all. And I don't think that's good for the country.
So how should one assess the contribution of Fali Nariman to the bar and judiciary? Joining me now, two very special guests. Justice Madan Lokur, former judge of the Supreme Court, and Indira Jaisingh, former Additional Solicitor General and one of the country's leading lawyers. Appreciate both of you joining us. The word which is being used by jurists across the country today is India has lost its Bhishma Pitama when it comes to the judiciary. Would you agree with that, Justice Lokur? What made Fali Nariman, according to you, such a towering figure?
Yes, thank you, Rajdeep. But first, let me express my condolences to the family. The country itself has actually lost a great, outstanding lawyer. In a sense, I would say that he was the conscience keeper not only of the bar, but also of the judiciary. I think his contribution to the development of the law, to understanding, what is right and what is wrong, is, I think, phenomenal. All across, whether it is lawyers or whether it is judges, all of them had great respect for him and appreciated whatever he said. I mean, he never said anything out of malice or anything. But if he was unhappy, well, he expressed it politely but firmly. And I think everybody respected him for his views, for his character, for his integrity. Well, just about everything that you can expect from a person.
Because I recall my last two interviews with him. One was on the collegium system, one on Article 370, and at the age of 95, spoke clearly and eloquently, spoke his mind on these issues. But Indira Jaisingh, how will you remember him? He was also, of course, Additional Solicitor General and then resigns the day after Indira Gandhi declares emergency. So to use what I heard just now from Justice Lokur, he was truly a conscience keeper.
Yes.
Rajdeep, I too would like to start by extending my condolences to his family, his son, who went on to become a judge of the Supreme Court of India, his daughter-in-law, who was present in his life, his daughter and her family. That being said, I would like to put on record that Fali, as we knew him, was first and foremost a product of the Bombay High Court. He moved to Delhi in 1971, and as you point out, in 1975, he resigned, which is a symbol of his abiding commitment to democracy. In his later life, of course, he also exhibited a strong commitment to secularism, protesting against the manner in which minorities in this country were being discriminated against. But I would like to return to his career as a Bombay lawyer. He belonged to a minority himself, and he always acknowledged the fact that this country gave him, from a minority community, the opportunity to reach the heights that any person could reach in this profession. As for his contribution to the judiciary and the legal profession, I think it was his firm insistence of the distinction and separation of powers between the executive and the judiciary, single-handedly lobbied for and achieved that separation in the setting up of the collegium system. And he leaves behind him this heavy burden on our shoulders to ensure that this separation remains in place for the benefit of the ordinary citizen of the country.
At a personal level, Justice Lokur, how will you remember him? Because I recall a young lawyer telling me that he sought advice from Fali Nariman a few years ago, and he was well past 90 then. And Mr. Nariman gave him a 20-page or a 15-page note giving him details of how to be a good lawyer. So even at that age, very diligent about the law. How will you remember him? Another friend told me about his great love for music. He was clearly a man of many parts.
Oh, yes, certainly. The note that you're talking about was actually a handwritten note, right? So he sat down when he was asked what is the advice that you would give to young lawyers. He sat down and wrote that particular note. But he also said, which is, I think, very, very important for young lawyers. He said that if you have nothing to do in court at any point of time, just sit in the court. You will learn a lot. And he said, a couple of years ago, that even at that age, he would do that. If he didn't have a case or he was waiting for a case, he would sit in the court to just watch the proceedings. But I would certainly remember him for the extremely passionate, handling of the case of the National Judicial Appointments Commission. He was the leading lawyer in that case, and I was a member of the bench. And he was very passionate about the independence of the judiciary. And he looked at the problem in every possible aspect and persuaded us, and we agreed with him eventually, that the independence of the judiciary has to be preserved and that the National Judicial Appointments Commission is not good for the independence of the judiciary. So I would certainly remember him for that. I would also remember him for being a fine gentleman. In fact, just a couple of days ago, on the 10th of February, when there was an awards function, he spoke about press freedom. And, he was very warm, always. Whenever I met him, he was always very warm, inquiring about the family, how things are.
He would always, in fact, he would always, if you went to his house, he would always offer you a slice of cake. He seemed to love his sweet. And that good, great Parsi hospitality was part of his character. But the Bombay School of Law, Indira Jaising, is this the last of the Mohicans when it comes to the Bombay School of Law? Lots of great Parsi lawyers who came through the ages. We can go back in time to the Sorabjis, the Palkiwalas, and now, of course, the great Fali Nariman. That school, Anil Devan, lots of names come to mind, Ashok Desai. Is it the end of that era of the Bombay School? What was so special of this Bombay School of Law, if I may ask?
Rajdeep, that will take me a book to answer your question. But remember that he was the first generation of lawyers which dealt with a written constitution. That was special. Why was the Bombay influence so special? Because Bombay was the commercial center of India. It probably still is. And, the Parsi community has always contributed a judge to the Supreme Court of India. Always, always. We even have one now. Of course, Pali chose not to become a judge. But coming back to the shaping of his career, it happened in the commercial center of India, that is Bombay. And you're very right in saying that era is gone. They were the ones who were the first practitioners of law in an independent India. Fortunately, we still have some of them around, but not the Bombay lot. So it's going to be a loss on many, many, many different dimensions. And I'm sorry, Rajdeep, coming from Bombay as I do, I'm a bit chauvinist about the absolutely meticulous manner in which Bombay lawyers present their case. I do believe it was I'm sorry. I do believe it was...
I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
I do believe that the training which we got on what is known as the original side of the Bombay High Court was very special, very specific. And watching Mr. Nariman argue cases in the Bombay High Court way back in the 1970s and 1960s for me was a great learning experience. The meticulousness with the absolute command over the English language and the mastery over English common law as well as constitutional law was something that we are not going to see in a long time to come.
Oh, yes.
Indira Jaisingh, Justice Madan Lokur, we could go on and on, but even in that brief tribute that the two of you have really played to Fali Nariman, we have lost truly a giant of our times, and I think he really stood for the finest constitutional values that the country has. I appreciate both of you joining me, Justice Lokur, Indira Jaisingh, on this rather sad day.
Rajdeep,
yes, go ahead. You want to say something?
There is a vacuum which is going to be very, very difficult to fill up. We've lost a giant of a man.
Rajdeep,
absolutely, we've lost a giant.
Rajdeep, Justice Lokur didn't tell you he was on the bench when that case was being argued. The challenge to the National Commission, Judicial Commission. He was there.
No, he did say that. He did say. No, he did mention that. But the truth of the matter is, as I said, I have lost someone who I saw as a counsel. Whenever I wanted to understand a legal matter, I would walk across to his house, and he was always welcoming. We will miss you, Fali uncle, is all I can say. You are one of a kind. You represented a great generation of lawyers. Justice Lokur, Indira Jaisingh, pleasure having you on this show on a rather sad day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm afraid that the day gets even sadder because another legend today passed away. At 91, Amin Sayani, the voice of Indian radio, who for years dazzled us with his voice at Binaka Geet Mala, which was something that was part of the lives of an entire generation or two of Indians. More than 50,000 radio shows were done by the one and only, the inimitable Amin Sayani. He passed away after a heart attack at the age of 91. His baritone voice will be remembered for generations to come. All I can say, news anchors like myself grew up on the legend called Amin Sayani. I leave you tonight with a special tribute to him. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri, Jai Hind, Namaskar.
बहनों और भाइयों, मैं आपका रेडियो दोस्त बोल रहा हूँ। जी हाँ, अमीन सायानी।
कौन सा गाना आप सुनवाएंगे अमीन भाई, जिससे सुरीली यादों का सिलसिला शुरू होगा?
ये होगा 1966 का गीत नंबर 6।
For many decades, music lovers across India tuned into radio to listen